Alright, so today we've got our 6th or 7th community video. If you haven't seen one of these before, it's where I ask you guys to send me questions or things you want me to talk about. These are some of my favorite videos to make, and I'm glad that you guys do send me a whole lot of things to talk about and continue to come back and watch these, so thank you for that. I am going to split this up into 2 videos just because I spent more time talking about each question than I normally do. And as always, if you watch these videos regularly, I would really appreciate it if you sub to the channel, as it really helps me out, and we are almost at 53K. Now that that is out of the way, let's not waste any more time and get right into it. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about answers a whole bunch of questions. It's about stamina. Someone asked if I think stamina should be improved. Someone asked if I believe it should be removed. Stamina costs are something I brought up while we were talking about Lawbringer before and even after his rework, mainly because Lawbringer actually does have asthma and it's very apparent, but Lawbringer isn't the only hero who raises eyebrows when it comes to stamina. I think people have been talking about stamina and the costs associated with stamina for a while now, mainly because every hero uses a ton of stamina to open up a turtle or keep offensive pressure on their opponents if they're attacking. Heroes who feint a lot or soft feint a lot, especially soft feints, or just need to throw out attacks that chain together, use a lot of stamina. Or a hero like Tiandi that can chain a lot of dodges together will use tons of stamina to land an attack. It's always felt a bit weird how we're trying to move towards a more offensive game when you have to stop attacking after throwing out 3 or 4 attacks. There are a lot of things that can take away stamina: attacking, rolling, whiffing, having one of your attacks blocked, having an attack parried, bashes, and of course some attacks have stamina draining properties to them. I don't even think a lot of newer players know that you lose more stamina when you're blocked. And I think this has all been highlighted with the release of Jorm. You're watching your stamina a lot more now. You're paying attention to how much stamina you've got and when you need to lay off so that you don't make a mistake and end up out of stamina when you're in danger. As I said in my Jorm thoughts and impressions video, this makes 1v1s and honestly even team fights slower than they need to be, because the one defending against Jorm knows that one heavy parry will put them at a very low stamina, and if they try to open him up with feints and whatnot, being parried does mean that you're going out of stamina usually. Or if you're fighting, you throw out a few attacks and a Jorm shows up, now you're in trouble if you don't dodge his bash, and because of this, the stamina discussion has risen again. I don't think that stamina needs to be removed, as I saw someone ask. I still think there needs to be stamina in the game, as I wouldn't want heroes to be able to do everything without ever having to worry about stamina. And I'd like for there to be some sort of penalty for attacking too recklessly, that penalty being not being able to attack for a while and being in danger and risking taking whatever out of stamina punish is coming your way if you make another mistake. I do think that stamina as a whole could be worked on. At the very least, I'd like to see every hero receive a stamina buff, something in between 30 to 50 stamina or something. I know this is sort of an indirect nerf to stamina bullies like Jorm, but Jorm can be worked on in more ways to compensate for that and give him a more interesting kit. I also don't think the penalties tied to attacking, well, having your attacks stuffed, should be so harsh. I wouldn't mind seeing the blocked attack multiplier be completely removed. Why should you be rewarded for something as simple as blocking in the first place? Plenty of heroes would benefit from this, and it would allow you to keep the pressure on longer. I wouldn't mind seeing little things like that, things that just benefit offense and wouldn't make defense feel too different, which is something I think you'd want to aim for when making changes to something that's remained basically the same for so long. Deep Down asks, do you think that if Scent, Glad, and Warlord reworks were balanced, we might see them in the mid-season patch? Also, I hope that year 4 exists, and I hope we get Vanguards that are not edgy like this year, and they fight for light and honor and not darkness. I wouldn't put it past Yubi to make a group of heroic Vanguards to come save the day from the cults that were introduced in year 3. I'm honestly just hoping that we see year 4 heroes at all, and I wouldn't mind them being Vanguard heroes or even hybrids. At this point, I don't even care about the characterization of the heroes if we get more. I don't care about the class as long as the hero is fun. Of course, I'd prefer Vanguards or hybrids, but as long as they're interesting, I don't mind. The Year 3 heroes so far have been okay, with Black Prior being my favorite of the 3 so far. I'm hoping that the Wu Lin hero will change that though. I'm also hoping that the heroes are a bit more complex and have more to do than the last 2 seasons heroes, but I can't really say much on new heroes as we really have no idea if we'll get any more after this season. As for the Centurion, Glad, and Warlord improvements, if everything goes well, I'd love to see these updates go live with the mid-season patch. That would be amazing to get big improvements like a month and a half after we got a new season and hero, but these are testing grounds for a reason. We're just trying these things out, seeing how they work, making sure the game doesn't fall apart, finding bugs and things that may have unintentionally slipped through the cracks, while giving feedback so that UB can tweak things and make sure that these heroes improvements are ready when it's time. I'd be surprised if we got the changes in the mid-season patch, as I don't really see it happening. I see these changes being released along with Season 12 and the Wu Lin Heavy if everything goes well. David Phoenix asks, do you think that the tutorial should be remade? One of the biggest problems with this game is the amount of things that newcomers don't know about and thus have a bad time against veterans when they start. Things as important as counter guard breaking are taught to the player in the advanced tutorial, which isn't even mandatory. UB did try with the hero trials and whatnot and tried to attach a reward for completing these, which is a good idea to get new players, to actually play them. They had good intentions with it. I played through the warrior trials again just to refresh myself on what I put in there. And it's not terrible, but I wouldn't mind seeing a few more things added to it. Just simple things like what are hyper armor attacks and how I should use them. Same thing with things like superior block and attacks with superior block, or even smaller things like what is bleed, or things you should know like basic guard breaking and team fighting, teaching you about feinting, how guard breaks work in an XVX situation, things like damage reduction, the revenge multiplier, and how revenge works while fighting against opponents. I know that would probably be pretty hard to put into a tutorial, but I still wouldn't mind seeing it. I do believe that counter guard breaking and parrying should be in the basic tutorial. They teach you some advanced things in the hero specific tutorials, but I think that the trials should teach these things. Also, after I finish the Warriors trials, I just have to ask why UB doesn't include this bear head piece for Warlord. I know we've got the boar ornament, but it's just not the same. On top of this, I really wouldn't mind having damage and stamina costs associated with each attack listed somewhere in each hero's menu, and if they're feeling really frisky, how long each attack is and how long the recovery for each attack is. That would just be awesome, and having the information in game would just mean that more people would actually see it, because right now to find any of that stuff you have to seek that information out from outside sources. There's also been a lot of questions about incentives to get people playing, things like increased steal and XP rewards. I talked about this a while ago, but even after all this time and playing so much more, I believe that giving us orders, like account specific orders or orders tied to heroes, would be a great way to go to keep people playing and give players something to work towards. Because right now, this is just my experience, when I finish my orders, sometimes I feel like I want to just hop off, as I'm not really playing for anything or going towards anything other than the XP at the end of the game and trying to rep up a hero. Having account-wide orders or hero-specific orders would give you something to grind for. I'm not talking about anything really short or anything easy, things that can be finished in a day for tons of XP and steal. I'm thinking orders that take a while to finish. Get, say, 1,000 eliminations with Warlord for however much XP and steal. That would take around 100 games of Dominion if you average around 10 eliminations a game. That's not a fast order, but it's not so far away that it feels out of reach. Once you reach that, have it scale, maybe 2,500 elims, then 5,000, with the rewards scaling along with it. Or account-wide orders that can be done with all the heroes you play that grant steel, XP tokens, and scavenger crates. Say something like win 50 or 75 breach games, or something like that for a reward. Just things to look towards after you finish your daily orders while rewarding you for playing longer. Anyways, that's all I've got for this video. As I said at the start, I will be posting a part 2 to this, just so that I can answer a few more questions, and I don't want to drag this video on for like 30 minutes or anything like that. It won't be up tomorrow, as I really want to check out this massive No Man's Sky update that should be releasing tomorrow. Also, if you'd like, you should join our Discord. The link will be in the description. We talk about For Honor a lot, as well as other things. I'm in there every day, and I'm always looking for people to play with. Anyways, I do want to hear what you guys think, so talk to me down in the comments about anything we talked about in this video. And as always, if you like the video, feel free to leave a like and sub if you're new, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.